It is the 24th of August, a Sunday. Thank you for being with me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Thousands of new subscribers over the last several days. I appreciate you being part of this weather community and sharing it. All right, I want to show you the remnants of Hurricane Erin right here as this starts to work closer to Ireland, the UK, Iceland. But what's interesting and what is a little bit alarming is as this eventually kicks in a weaker form, it is really going to enhance the chance of rain and storms. Czechia over toward Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, watching parts of Italy for some bigger storms, even parts of France and Germany. Serious storms by the middle of the week. The weather's really tied together, and I want to show you that in this video. So thank you for sharing this, kind of spreading the word about this as we move forward. So here is what's left of Erin. It's not tropical in nature. Here is Iceland as expected. This is on track from what we've talked about over the last few videos. This will bring additional rain to Iceland. I'll show you the high seas, the rain totals, all of that in this video. But just to show you the big picture first, kind of setting the stage, this will be spinning across parts of the North Atlantic for a couple days. This here is by Tuesday, right? Watching out for some bands of rain working in. Still some of the additional rain back toward Iceland, but Scotland, South, Northern Ireland seeing some of that rain. It's sitting there, but this is what's going to happen. Another front near the Atlantic region of Canada starts to work across, and that's what will give this thing a kick. So you need something to kind of move it. It's going to be sitting there for a couple days. Here's Greenland. Here comes that front. I mentioned how the weather's tied together. This front moves in the remnants of Erin, which enhances that strong to severe weather threat right through here by the time we get into the middle of the week. Look at all of that blowing up. Some aggressive storms. So an early heads up. These are going to be serious storms. I don't like hype. If you've been with me on my other channel, I just like to tell you what's going to happen as the remnants move in, which will be on the very weak side throughout parts of the UK and Ireland as a whole. They are going to enhance some serious storms by the middle and end of the week, and we'll zoom down to that in this video. Now let's start with the remnants of Erin right here. This is as we work our way into tonight, and then the center is still here. So Monday into Tuesday, I mentioned nothing moving it yet, so we get brushed by some showers. Of course, windier conditions, we know that. The higher seas, nothing we haven't seen before, but as we work our way into Tuesday, that's when we're waiting for the front back to the west. That's when this will kick in. So later on Tuesday into Wednesday, we start to get a better chance of rain, especially along the coast, Ireland back towards Scotland. We could see some higher rain totals out of some of this. And then by Thursday, as this moves in, again, a very weak system at this point. We could even see a few showers. Wales, watching over toward England for that chance of some showers, but higher totals right in through here the next few days with this. Now, let me start wide with the winds, and then I'll zoom down with the winds, and then I want to zoom in to that significant severe weather threat that's building. Here are the winds, the core of the winds, some gusts 70 miles per hour in the reds. Those are going to weaken. But as we go out in time here, and you see some of the whites, a lot of these whites here, that's 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers an hour, both units of measurement, trying to keep everyone covered, not the easiest thing. But you see a sprawly, weakening system, but still those strong winds for a couple days. But here comes that next front. That is what allows this area to move in, but on the weaker side. So the actual remnants of Hurricane Erin aren't going to do a ton, so to speak, relatively speaking. Thank you for hanging with me and understanding that. But as the weaker remnants of Erin move in, they will enhance the chance of storms. That is the even bigger concern as we work our way forward. Now, here's the closer look. Here are some of those 70 mile per hour winds, the gust right in through here. This is working our way into tomorrow. There's the center of the remnants of Erin. So really a subtropical, really non-tropical system at this point. But you see those winds. Some of the gusts 50 miles per hour, watching that parts of Ireland, and then 40, 50 mile per hour gusts, watching that on Scotland on Tuesday. Here's the center. Then we're waiting on that next front that will eventually just kind of kick this area in, and we'll see some blustery conditions as we work our way into Wednesday. Here is the center of this, and then Wednesday into Thursday. Look at that, just kind of pivoting around, but again, a weaker form. Don't want to blow this out of proportion here. This is going to be much weaker, but we will see those strong winds, very active active weather week, no doubt, and we'll even get some of those showers spilling over parts of Denmark, the Netherlands, Belgium. I'm watching us for that chance of some of that rain and some of the winds at times, but most of the action would be sitting off toward the west. As far as the rain totals go, and you can see exactly what I was talking about, these are 3 to 4 day rain totals, so this takes us into midweek, and you can see some of those totals along the extreme coast of Ireland that may be upwards of 2-3 inches of rain, 50 to 75 millimeters of rain. Could push, depending on how this shakes out, it could push 100 millimeters of rain as we work our way into the middle of the week. But those seas are going to be very elevated. I mentioned high impacts as far as the seas are concerned, but I'll show you these storms in a moment. Just trying to cover Erin first. And you see the elevated seas. Here's meters, feet on the right-hand side of your screen. Everything on the dangerous side, not as much the North Sea, but the Atlantic side. And then watching Portugal, Spain, France, those swells will be working in. So everything is going to be elevated. This is all the way through Thursday. So everything stays elevated to extremely rough over the next several days. Now, as Erin, the remnants of it start to push in, they're going to enhance that storm threat. This is Wednesday. So jumping ahead of time, very warm waters across the Mediterranean. Yes, that does play into it. Give some extra lift. So we've got a lot of energy, and look what happens as we work our way through Wednesday. Northern sections of Spain over toward Andorra, watching France, Switzerland, Austria, and you can see Wednesday into Thursday right in here, there's going to be a lot of rain in these storms. That is going to give us a flood threat, a significant one, a mudslide threat Thursday, even into Friday. So we'll be watching Czechia, Austria, Slovenia, northern Italy, Switzerland, southern Germany, and parts of France, especially southern and eastern areas of France for some significant storms. Now, it's not going to be for all of us, but in these, even an isolated tornado risk, all because it's kind of getting enhanced from what's going on back toward the northwest with the remnants of Erin. And looking at the 3 to 4 day rain totals, see some of these spots popping up around 150 millimeters of rain or higher. So now this is a model, and this is a couple days out in time, so this could change. This may be over toward Austria, maybe a little bit toward Slovenia, or maybe just right through northern Italy, watching Switzerland. So again, the early heads up. So thank you for sharing this information. Northern Spain over toward parts of France, even parts of Germany, especially on the southern side, watching out for some higher rain totals and the potential of some aggressive storms. Now, Erin, that was the name we just had. Fernand, that is now a tropical storm to the east of Bermuda, but that one will fizzle apart. The next name on the list of the Atlantic storm season, which includes the Atlantic, the Gulf, and the Caribbean, is Gabrielle. That is the next name. And again, we watch out for these kind of moving up and around at times, much like we're having right now with the remnants of Erin. And we'll see this in the next few months. Hurricane season goes all the way through November, so that may give us some bigger wind makers, and then we work into some of the bigger storms late fall and into the winter, which I'll be covering for you. The remnants that actually make landfall, 2 to 5 make landfall in western sections of Europe each hurricane season, and that's what I'll be tracking for you. So watching the remnants of Erin, the areas of some rain, the gusty winds, those higher seas that will be with us, but it is going to increase that chance of severe storms, as I mentioned, and the possibility of some significant flooding. So thank you for sharing this information. I'll be going through your comments throughout the evening. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, albeit on the short side, and a good work week ahead.